Hey everybody, Mattsquatch here. Got a little different video for you guys today. As you can see, that's a lot of crap on the table. And what I wanted to talk to you guys today is Sasquatch equipment. Now, this is by no means all-inclusive. This is by no means you have to have all this stuff. This is by no means you have to have any of this stuff. This is by no means for every situation, because Bigfooting in the Sierras versus down in the South and versus wintertime and springtime, and depending on sightings in the area and maybe other cryptids you might be more worried about, there's a lot of stuff. Maybe some things you want to leave behind, maybe some things you want to bring with you. And this is also a note that if you've got like an old JanSport backpack, this is a North Face backpack, kind of a hybrid outdoor around town pack, but like just a little day pack. But if you've got an old JanSport backpack and a cell phone and a couple bottles of water, you can go Bigfooting. If you've got a phone, most modern phones have good cameras. That's what I'm recording this video on right now. You can go out and go Bigfooting and do some calls and have a friend hold it while you do some knocks, and be careful to hold it steady and do all that kind of stuff. And throw a couple bottles of water in a backpack and go hit the woods. You don't have to have all this stuff. And this isn't by all the means the stuff that I bring with me or I carry, or sometimes I don't carry. It depends. Am I gonna leave the house at like 7 in the morning and be back at 6 at night? Am I gonna go out at night? Am I gonna be 10 minutes from the car and we're gonna go look around? Am I setting up trail cameras? A lot of it's obviously dependent on what you're gonna do. And you can see some guns on the table. We're gonna talk about those. Knives, evidence collection bag, gloves, trail cameras. We're gonna go over it. So I think I'm just gonna talk about video equipment first. All right. So when we talk about video and camera equipment, when I go out in the woods, I like to use a GoPro. They're waterproof. They're fairly cheap. If they get stolen or broke, they're a couple $100, but they're nice enough to where you can take good film. They do They do the ultra panoramic. They're very shock proof. Hey. So I like GoPros. You can get gimbals for them to make them stable. The only problem with using a GoPro is they don't have zoom. So if you caught something from across the valley or even 50 or 100 yards away, you can't really zoom in. So if I'm by myself, I'll probably take the GoPro. The cat's crying at me again. Sorry. Most of you probably don't mind that. But the other thing I like to do is if it's just me and two, I like to go with like 2 people, maybe 3 people at the most. More than 3 or 4 people, you're making too much noise, especially if they're not really country folk. Not that I am, but I mean, I'm no expert in the woods, but I take people who really don't spend a lot of time out there, and they're so noisy and they're not usually equipped for it. They don't know where to step. They don't know what they're looking for. So just having 1 or 2 people Bigfooting is good. So I recommend, and what I usually do is I like 1 person with a GoPro filming video. They take full HD, decent battery life, really good quality. Like I said, waterproof, shockproof. And then I like to give somebody a still camera, something with a good zoom. It's not a DSLR, but it's a pretty nice, it's an older Nikon. It's got a pretty good zoom on it. Pretty good megapixels, takes good pictures. Kind of older and cheap now, so if I lose it or it breaks, I'm not going to super cry. But I like to pair up a camera with zoom capabilities with a video camera at the same time. So if you guys do see something, you can obviously get it from different angles. You can take zoom. Obviously that takes videos too, and that takes pictures, but it's good to kind of compare them. So you can, if you do see something on a hillside or something run across the road from you or something, the guy can maybe catch it on film with the GoPro or the camera. And GoPros are great because you can hook them to little tripods. You can hook them to helmets. This is a floating handle, which is nice if you're on a boat or something. You can hook them to helmets, and they have chest mounts and car mounts and everything else all built into them. So that's what's cool about GoPros. So yeah, but like I said, I like to pair it with a still camera. So if you're out there with a still camera and something runs across the road, you probably won't be quick enough. I like it when I have a guy out there with a still camera, show him how it works. I say, just start taking pictures. You see a weird tree structure, you see something strange, you hear something in the woods, you see something maybe off in the distance or just kind of a dark woodsy area, just start taking pictures. We can go back and look through them later. So I always encourage the guy who's on the still camera, you know, modern day cards and modern day SD cards and batteries, they take thousands of pictures, and he might as well use them, and he might as well get to know the camera, and that way he has it ready, because if he's only going to take pictures when he needs to, he probably won't have it ready. So I always encourage whoever's on the still camera just to snap away. Same thing with the GoPro. You can have different settings. You get the only downfall to GoPros is their battery life isn't that great. I always find it funny when you fire it up and it says you have 4 hours and 58 minutes of recording time on your SD card, and 25 minutes of battery life. So that is kind of the flaw. But like I said, you can get little tripod mounts. You can clip them to anything. The other thing I like to carry with me and set up, especially if I'm being in a location for a couple days, is a trail camera. And you can see there's an orange there. Normally I carry apples. I like to leave apples as bait. There's some nuts there, some almonds. So that's just kind of an example of some of the camera equipment. Nothing too high tech. In addition to that same realm of camera equipment, I've got a couple different pairs of binoculars. These are just the cheap ones I had around. But just even a cheap pair of binoculars, it really helps. You're like, what is that on the hillside over there? Is that a bird, a squirrel? You know, you can use your binoculars well, or you can use a rangefinder or monocular. You'll notice I don't really have any night vision equipment. Hi, God, you're noisy. So the problem with night vision equipment is you can get $300 or $400. You can get something halfway decent that may be good from like your porch to your yard. But if you're really going to go out deep in the woods and you really want it to be ruggedized and you really want to actually wear it like goggles and navigate with it and go dark, so you have dark as your concealment, it's one of those things where it's like you're going to have to spend a lot of money. You're going to have to spend, in my opinion, because I have some experience with night vision with following others and seeing through some, and I guess maybe I'm spoiled because I have looked through really, really nice night vision, and I've looked through some really crappy stuff. But you're going to want to get like a PVS 14, or, you know, there's some moderate, you know, like Gen 2 or Gen 1 Plus stuff that's kind of good close up. But if you really want to have the good stuff, you need to spend a lot of money on night vision, and I'm really just not there yet. And so, I mean, like I said, I recommend some binoculars. I've got a spotting scope. I forgot to dig it out. Spotting scopes are nice if you've got like a turnout above a big canyon or something like that, and you can set it up. Kind of like if you go to Yellowstone or into the national parks and they have the spotting scopes looking at, oh, there's the other cat. Hey, don't kitty. Nice. Cats just are just photo bomb. Oh, I know. It's because it's dinner time and I haven't fed you yet, isn't it? Anyway, enough of the distractions. Yeah, so spotting scopes are nice, especially if you got a big tripod to set it up and you can really take some pictures. There are some really cool things. Adapters out there where you could hook your phone, like what I'm recording this with, and it'll hook like right up to the back of the scope lens that you look through on the spotting scope. Or you can hook your regular lens instead of having to get like a really nice DSLR camera and then get the big giant telephoto lens and setting it up. You can use your spotting scope, even a moderately priced one, and hook your phone or something else up and take reasonably good pictures. Because it's kind of like when I made a video a while back, like if I had to shoot a Bigfoot, people are like, oh, you need a Barrett 50 cal and you need this and that and you need night vision equipment. And I'm like, yeah, if I had $50,000 to spend, you know, $10,000 on a gun, another $10,000 on night vision equipment, and then ammo for it and training and everything else, I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, we all have a wish list, I guess, but I try to be very real. That's a $100 Bushnell camera, trail camera. I've been using the same style for years. This is like the third one I've had. Or no, the second one I've had. And what I like about these, I'm trying to do this one-handed in film here. Sorry about that, the camera cut out. So what I like about these is you can use either 4 batteries by themselves or 8 batteries, and it'll run off 4 batteries depending on what you have. They're AAAs or double A's that you can find at any gas station, so I like that. And even regular double A's last a long time, months and months and months. If you really want to set one up long term and come check it, like I'm going to leave this camera out for a year or something like that, especially in depending conditions, you know, all sorts of different conditions. Get the lithium batteries. They don't leak. They're a lot less temperature sensitive, but that's like $20 worth of lithium batteries. you know, you pretty much buy them once though, and especially if you're gonna really trust some good stuff to the camera, I recommend you buy lithiums. But what I like about this camera is I've borrowed other trail cameras, and some of them have a screen where you can preview pictures and different night and day modes, and you can set all this up, and you can zoom in, and you can pick focal points, and they do a lot of really cool things. But what I like about these Bushnells is they're $100, or I think I've even found them on sale for like 80 or 90 bucks. They take good pictures, they take good video. And I don't have a $500 trail camera. If somebody steals it or breaks it or a Sasquatch runs off with it, I'm not crying. And they're also really simple. I mean, it's one click for off, one click for setup, and it's really simple. I get to turn on for setup. It's as you can see there, it's like, okay, I have 45 images out of 999. I'm at 3 megapixels. You can set it for 5 or 10 or however nice pictures you want. You have an SD card in there. I'm in camera mode. It shows you video mode. It's just, hi, guy, you won't leave me alone. Me, kitty. So that's what I really like about this is it's simple, it's straightforward, it's easy to use, it's cheap enough to where if it loses or breaks, I'm not going to cry, but it's also nice enough to take good pictures. So I really like these little Bushnell little trophy cam guys. So I've been kind of sticking with them. If you're really low budget Bigfoot and you got your camera with you, just go get a $10 selfie stick. It helps a lot for when you're filming because you can just deploy it. And obviously you can do the selfie thing and you can use it to pan and zoom. I use it all the time if I'm just going lightweight. Like sometimes when you have a backpack, I just shove the selfie stick in my pocket and go for, you know, if I'm going for an hour walk or something where I'm not bringing any water. But when I'm bringing a backpack, you bring some water, some other stuff. So yeah, the selfie stick's really cool. These little tripods are very neat. They extend out. The little legs extend out and you can do all sorts of different stuff with those. That currently has the GoPro mount, but I can unscrew it and put the camera on there. It's cool. So I think that pretty much covers about cameras. Like I said, if you're in a team or a group, I recommend a still camera and a video camera, a trap camera, and then with your cell phone, I think you could really do about 90% of it. No, they're not big production type stuff. No, they might not take the best pictures, but you're also on a budget here. Maybe you're borrowing your mom's camera. Maybe you bought a used GoPro online or you're borrowing somebody else's. So yeah, that pretty much covers it for the camera gear.